chill.
Hello, Marvel Legends. We just had a Pulse Hasbro Con thing reveal. Wow, I could have said that opening better. You know what I'm talking about anyway. It's the Hasbro thing with the new figures. You know what? I'm not going to start again. We're rolling. Let's do this. We had a lot of reveals, so let's talk about them. Obviously, the biggest, most impressive reveal recently has been Piglet. Some of my older readers? Wow, should I start again? No, you're here now. Some of my older viewers would have seen Piglet before, but I never did a proper review of her. So, this is Piglet. She's one of a kind, so very, very rare, and she's, quite expensive. There's a lot of upkeep involved. But as you can see, the toyetic value is fantastic. You get a lot of bang for your buck here. The articulation is terrific. There's no paint rub, no matter how much you scratch her, so that's all good. And she's a must buy. To quote Charlemagne Prime, I love it so much, so much. She has to go back to her other daddy tomorrow, so I'm getting you're getting a lot of Piglet in this video. But okay, we're done now. That's enough. We're here to talk about the Hasbro reveals, and there was a lot going on. I'm a bit worried though, because there was nothing that got me super excited. Okay, so let's just go through this. We had the Avengers wave. All right, okay, and we started out kind of not well here because it's Gamerverse. Oh gosh, I managed to avoid buying Gamerverse initially because it was a Gamerverse bath, and as awesome as that Abomination bath was, I didn't need it. It's Gamerverse. Whereas now I knew it was happening. I knew it was going to be inevitable. We get a comic Build-A-Figure with Gamerverse pieces. Ugh. So I got to buy this ugly ass black suit Captain America, which is like the original Gamerverse Captain America was widely lambasted as being an ugly looking figure, and now Hasbro are like, hold my beer. We're going to make him uglier. We're going to take even more colour out of the suit. And they boasted, we got like a photorealistic head sculpt of an ugly ass head. Like, what's the one thing that everyone was complaining about in those games? How ugly the faces are. Now it's like, look, we recreated them perfectly. Yay! And yeah, the Tony Stark is still no better. It's another Iron Man armour. It looks kind of... and the Tony face, boy, I don't know, he looks not good. I'm sorry. And now, thanks to the live stream, we have faces with designer written under it, and we can be like, it's your fault. Why are you doing this? No one asked for this. So there's two figures that I don't particularly want to get. The rest of the wave, though, this kind of picks up. So this is good. We finally get classic retro comic book Falcon. Yes, at last. Okay, this is cool. He's going to look great with the Avengers lineup. I'm really, really happy about that. Didn't look like he had any sort of accessories, like where is Red Wing or anything like that. That would be nice, but we'll wait and see. Then, of course, we've got Kang. Oh, yeah. Okay, a decent, standout Avengers villain. Terrific. I always imagined him being bigger, but I guess not. He is just like normal human proportions. So that's cool. We got Kang. And then we have Thunderstrike. Yes, 100%. That's great. I got my Beta Ray Bill. I got Thor. Now I got Thunderstrike. So that is three really great, Thunder God, Mjolnir wielding type people. And then we have Jocasta. And I know nothing about Jocasta. So I might have to do a little bit of reading to kind of get excited for the character, because right now I'm like, right now I'm kind of, half the figures I want to buy and half the figures I'm like, I don't really want these, and I'm not going to be able to resell the Gamerverse figures. Who is going to buy those for anything worth anything? Because no one wants them. No one wants them. So is it worth it though? Because we get Joe Fixit. And Joe Fixit looks kind of cool, but that's all I'm kind of feeling. It's like, he looks kind of cool, but I'm not excited. So I'm like, am I going to reluctantly buy an entire wave? Well, I want a couple of figures. I don't know. This one's really tough for me to decide what I actually want to do. Moving on though, we have the Spider-Verse wave. And okay, it's Spider-Man, so I'm a little more excited. But again, I'm like, I've got a Miles. This is the really great Spider-Verse looking Miles though. So I'm like, okay, there's a lot of different stuff here. I'm happy for Miles. Gwen, it's the same Gwen with a different head, really. There's nothing to it. She comes with a Spider-Ham accessory, which is actually kind of annoying because it's basically Hasbro saying, yeah, that Spider-Ham you bought before, that is totally an accessory. It's not a standalone figure. It never should have been. We kind of screwed you over on that just so you'd get the Monster Venom bath. I'm like, oh, you're practically admitting it by going, yeah, here's Spider-Ham as an accessory, like he always should have been. Ooh. Then, of course, though, we have the Hand Ninja, which is actually pretty cool because this is the army builder. I'm not an army building person yet. I haven't had anything that I want to build an army for. Maybe I would justify 2 ninjas though, because a pair of ninjas, that's great though. But if we have a pair of ninjas, we need a new red Daredevil. It's been like 5 years since you released the one red costume Daredevil and he was in the Defenders pack as well. I have neither. So therefore, come on Hasbro, give us a classic Daredevil, please. But it's good that it's an army builder because you get the stilts for Stiltman. I have no particular interest in Stiltman, but the figure looks kind of good, so, you know, there is that. I will probably buy the entire wave because it's a Spider-Man wave and there's a lot of good stuff in there. But again, I'm not excited like I want to be. Now, there's the CGI computer rendering reveals, which they're okay, there's some good stuff here. The thing I'm most excited about, an entire villains wave. That's something to get excited about. I'm like, okay, yes, all right, you got the blood pumping a little bit. I'm feeling good about this. So first off, Arcade. Who just mentioned Arcade in 2 videos ago? Yeah, this guy. So clearly I have an inside source at Hasbro who's leaking me this information. Didn't want to make it too obvious. So, like, share and subscribe because this is where the scoops are. Also, Dormammu, classic Dormammu. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, come on, man. I just got the bath Dormammu. I don't need another Dormammu. And then they showed it with the colors and I was like, oh, that is pretty. So also, it looks just like the Dormammu from animated 90s Spider-Man. So that's kind of fun. I'm happier about this Dormammu now. So we have Arcade, Dormammu. I should have done better at remembering these. Okay, spin on. We'll come back to that. We'll circle back around. We won't circle back around. Now, they have the House of X. House of X, Powers of 10 figures. This can save me some money, at least. Not bad figures at all, but just it's modern X-Men, and I don't have that nostalgia value. I don't really need to get modern X-Men, so I can relax. Professor X looks fine. Yeah, Moira, cool. Magneto, no problem. And for folks who want to get modern X-Men, dude, fill your boots. There's some good stuff there. And it's the click that reminded me, Thanos. That was the other reveal for the villains wave, and yes, classic Jim Starlin Thanos, absolutely sign me up for that. So that's really great. I've only got to select Thanos, and I would love to have was it Walgreens one? He looks really good, but this one looks cool too. He's got the snapping fingers. I can't snap my fingers like that. I have to use my thumb and index finger. But either way, that's going to look great. I'm looking forward to getting him. And then finally, there might be some more, but I spaced out and I want to keep this to about 10 minutes. We have the carded retro re-releases. Oh, there was a Moira McTaggart too, which is unusual to get just a plain civilian. But we've had Gwen Stacy and maybe a couple of others. So Hasbro seemed to be more like, yeah, we can do plain civilians. It's not like we're trying to market these to little kids who want, toyetic action figures. Grown adults will just buy a human-looking person because it completes a collection. So what was I talking about? Carded figures. So we had Gambit. The Gambit re-release with the little tweaks, and it looks good. I mean, he looks like seriously retro. The color scheme, the bright brown on the jacket, the brighter colors, that looks really good, and the different head sculpt looks pretty cool too. The hair is improved. People didn't like his slicked hair. I didn't mind his spiky hair. But will I buy him? Probably not, actually, because it's not that big of a difference. So, you're going to snuggle up. So, yes, I was talking to you. Yes, I'll probably pass on Gambit. And then the little sneaks, they did that little tease, that little oh. But wait, just one more thing. Because finally, for everyone who needed her, they are re-releasing Rogue. And did you all get a look at that face? Ooh, that's like one of those monkey's paw wishes, isn't it? I can imagine Lisa Simpson going, I wish for a new Rogue. Ah! What? Why the face? WTF? You know, it reminds me of Spaceballs, where with the stunt doubles, where it's like, you idiots! You captured their stunt doubles! I can imagine someone in Hasbro going, you idiots! You re-released the Toy Biz Rogue! Because it does, that face is not as bad as the Toy Biz face, but it's very, it looks like a drag queen. You're going back, they did some good female face sculpts, Hasbro. Now you're going back to the drag queen looking thing. Why'd you do that? Why'd you go and play all these people who desperately want Rogue? I don't get it. And finally, and I actually signed off of the live stream before they got to this, and I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, nice. Firestar. Yes, they had previewed and promised, or at least, hinted towards Firestar, and now we've got Firestar, and she looks great. This female face sculpt looks good, so they can do it. It's the sort of retro Spider-Man and his amazing friends Firestar. I would have liked a 90s Firestar, but that's absolutely fine. I will happily take the retro one. Again, builds up my Maximum Carnage team. In fact, that's pretty much Team Spider-Man complete except for Nightwatch, who are like, we ain't getting Nightwatch. So, yeah. That was, and then they had like the, what else did they speak about? They spoke about those little like Kenner style figures. I don't know who asked for them, but if that floats your boat, great. And then they previewed the Hasbro documentary thing, which it looked interesting, but it strikes me that this is going to be like the WWE style documentaries, where it's kind of interesting, but also kind of just a fluff piece about like, hey, we're all one big happy family and we love giving back to the fans. And it's like, you're not actually going to see anything that's interesting. It's basically going to be like a long commercial about how awesome Hasbro is and how much they love what they do. Whereas really, like, you want an honest documentary. Like, you want burned Hasbro employees being like, yeah, man, we just sat around in a room and figured out how many different ways we could re-release the same figure, jack up the profits, milk those marks for all the money they're worth. That would be a good documentary, because it's like, I love Hasbro, I love the figures they do, but this is a business, and I know there are passionate people who love what they do. They have to make these figures this good, but also I know that any business is out there to make money, and I want to see the documentary where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to bleed these suckers dry, and this is how we maximize profits, reduce costs, and make this thing work. I would have a lot more respect for that. I'm not going to watch a fluff piece commercial Hasbro. That's just not my thing. Whew. Anyway, okay, we're 13 minutes, that's not too bad. I could edit out the first minute, but that's why you guys come here, because I was told this is real, this is raw, and that's what it's all about. So I'm going to release this as an extra bonus episode today, because I'm not putting out enough content already. The content will have to slow down pretty soon, because I'm going to go back to uni, and that's going to, get in the way a little bit, but we'll figure it out together. Anyway, in the meantime, that's enough from Piglet and I, so guys, until the next episode, keep being Marvelous Legends, and I will... I didn't even get a good sign-off. Bye! Oh, my Undertaker loves nothing more than to watch model behavior. Oh, and he always is sure to like each video. And if you don't subscribe to model behavior, you will rest in